And here we go, boys. Take it away.
All right. Our first map, gonna be starting off on Amazonia. Lynn, the big story here, I think, for us and for the Warcraft community in general. In Europe especially, it seems like orcs are in a bit of a crisis. They're having a bit of a rough time.
Midlife crisis.
Cash off racing, spiral off racing. You know, Cooper is holding the standard as the one representative, but everyone else seems to be having a rough time. And now, certainly all of the orc community will be looking towards Lynn, as always, for inspiration. What are his answers? How is he gonna show the rest of his fellow orcs how to play this matchup and how to play in general?
He's supposed to be the guide, right? As the best orc in the world, you always look at the best player of your race to really show you the way. Unless, I guess maybe for Night Elves it's a little bit harder, because when you look at Moonplay, it's like, well, I'm never going to be able to copy what that guy's doing. But for other races, every time you got the one or two guys that you want to look at, and it's like, okay, well, they're defining the meta. Lynn did that so many times and really well too. Like, he made a bunch of Kodos against Breakers. He played with Farseer TC Shaman flawlessly. But his streak has finally been broken, and it seems like he's lacked confidence as of late, which is a pretty bad time because there's more tournaments than ever for that to happen. So let's see if he can still be the very solid Lynn that we know here against a Sock, who I'm sure is also pretty good in this matchup.
Yeah, Sock. How well of a fight is he going to be able to put up here? Neo mentioned the stats earlier. The last 10 or so encounters all went to Lynn. By far the best orc in the world in this matchup, or at least he used to be. Especially when he won WGL, he defined the meta with the Lynn build, with the 2 grunts into 2 shaman and 2 kodos and a tier 2 expansion. Humans since then have found answers. Humans were playing different styles for a while. Some tended to go for breakers, sometimes dragonhawks, others for riflemen. But nowadays, it seems like almost everyone moved away from riflemen, right?
Yeah, if you go for rifles, you go for them like in the first place, but then you'll still go into double sanctum, so as to just have a little bit of extra damage. But look at what Sock has done. On this map, it is standard to creep your lap and then the small green camp next to it a lot of the time, and start the game with level 2. So you pretty much, it's not as much a gentleman's agreement as much as it's just the way it is, and like everybody's kind of accepted that. But Sock, who's also quite the unconventional human at times, he's not accepted that. Apparently, he went to do a middle camp, picked up an item, and now he's going further out. So what this achieves is that it was a little bit harder and it took longer for him to get level 2, but he's gonna have those camps saved later on to do, maybe with just militia, maybe save for his like mount tanking second. And Lynn is just wondering right now, where is Sock? He's looking for him everywhere, but the Archmage sneaked away and he's looking to do some creeping of his own.
Yeah, the level 2 AM, so crucial in this matchup. If you get it early, you can pressure the Orc base very effectively. And the AM with a fully distracting on the right is getting by himself with 1 footman, and Watchman has more experience on the left at the trappers. It seems like Lynn always has to scout for what the militia are doing, because if the militia solo creep the renegade, and I think that should be possible with like 6-7 militia, heavy in lumber of course, but good experience, then this AM will be level 3, and then the problems really arise. So for the Orc in the early, it's all about scouting, all about preventing level 3 on the enemy AM.
This is so sick. He's almost 3. Like, just a couple Murlocs would give him that. And he still has those 2 camps saved near his base. So imagine when the second hero comes out. He could do those camps. Like, this is one of the very important dynamics of Amazonia, is that there is a lot of big camps. You're very easily creep-jackable. So it can be really tough against an orc as good as Lynn, who just keeps tabs on you and then creep-jacks you when you do anything big with, like, Stomp, Purge. And look at this! Lynn identifies what happened and he's like, you want to save this for later? I'll steal it away from you. He triggers the lightning shield perfectly on his Farseer, and he's doing the camp a lot more easily. Very nice militia. He actually forced the chain lightning to be used, but Farseer was almost surrounded. He makes it out, and militias are gonna die.
These last are so important. Lynn with a brilliant creep route here, taking this camp away. So important. If he steals the last hit here, that's level 3 denied, but it is level 3 reached for the AM. He gets it at a pretty good timing, but far away from the Orc base, so he can't pressure the tier 2 buildings right away.
Oh, look at this. He's running immediately. I can't tell if he's running away from the wolves or if he's trying to go for burrows. Maybe a bit of both. Let's see if he maybe gets... He could go directly and try and get a cancel on those tier 2 buildings.
Yeah, and Lin knows it's coming. He scouted this. He's running back home. He's 1 kill away only, 1 footy kill from level 3. And 2 of these footies are very hurt already with the TC coming with the Stomp. That should definitely be doable. And despite level 3 AM, it seems like there's no opening here for Sok, especially also because his AM is a little hurt already.
Yeah, that one burrow at the front, that was really nice. Lin filled it with 4 peons, and he's like, get off my lawn, get out of here.
And he's going with a fast War Mill again, right? So it seems like fast Kodos once again will be the call. Other orcs have been playing a lot more Raider openings, Raiders into Kodos than later. But Lin might be skipping Raiders altogether for the time being.
Yeah, this may be why Sok is also going Blacksmith. He might have been able... I think he came close enough to see the War Mill. So he's like, well, you're going for Kodos. What's good against Kodos? Piercing damage. I'll just make a bunch of rifles. And for now, it's just going to be the one Sanctum. I mean, his wood economy did take a big lead. Look at this. Lin is still stealing some creeps at the bottom. Just with the walls.
It's a little bit of experience here. Oh, is that actually level 3 Farseer if he gets the Rogue? Which you should be able to grab. Great creep route here by both. Also like the aggressive creeping by the MK in the middle. But I guess that's the downside of going for the Kobold camp early, right? You don't have it for the MK later on tier 2 then.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have the other...
Farseer perfect. Look at that Farseer, man. Perfect on level 3. Beautiful.
He's gonna pull it back just on time, not to take any experience away from that Torrent Chieftain. Ooh, that Lightning Shield's gonna hurt, actually. Look at the Wolf doing some crits. They're creeping side by side right now. There's a good chance there's gonna be a clash after that. The Archmage is doing a one-on-one with the Farseer right now.
He's not expanding, is he?
The Archmage reconsidered. He pulled back. No, I don't think he will. He doesn't have the woods. Actually, he's lacked wood the entire game because of all he had to do with the militia, you know? Like, the first camp was very militia intensive, he was further away. Ooh, he's gonna surround... Okay, there is Cloak of Shadows, but Stomp reveals that. Greater Healing is used immediately. He breaks out!
Okay, 1 Grunt for 1 Greater Healing. TC has 1 more Stomp available, hits a few of these footies. Still going Wind Riders despite rifles being in play. That's quite surprising.
It's almost...
But only 1 so far, not overcommitting yet. Another Storm, that's level 3 for the TC. But he's out of mana now. Grunts all getting killed off. But MK and TC out of mana at this point, so the aggressive potential subsides. But seems like Sok got the better end here. He can continue creeping on the enemy side of the map.
Yeah. And Lin had to pull back here. He's out of mana. He was missing a lot of hit points on some of his units, and the TC in particular. Malta King trying to reach level 3 here. He already has 1 single healing scroll. If he could get that before the next fight, that'd be great. And it's very smart by Sok to realize that the Torrent Chieftain being out of mana meant that Lin had to disengage here. He couldn't stick around. Flute is, I think, decent because he has some range units, but usually they're not the main focus for the damage. It's really about Stomp and having some grunts at the front. So he's actually going to sell that because of the way the game is going. Lin needs extra gold to maybe buy like a healing scroll in a bit and make sure he gets to 50 as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go for the heal scroll, but it was out of stock because the MK stole it. So Lin has a lot of gold right now. 500. Would love to see a mana pot here. Not going for it though. In the top left of the map, there's still a lot of experience left. We have the gold mine, the merc camp, and even the merchant kind of in that area. So this is where the 2 players will be fighting, probably for these resources next.
I think Sok is the one that's obviously the more likely to start doing like the red camps and the big golems because he's got rifles with which it's very easy to crit that. But I think Lin also has some potential to do that. Like if he wins the fight very convincingly, a lot of the time the best thing you can do after that is to go for another camp. And if that's all that's left, maybe he can do it too. But with his army, it's going to be harder. Obviously, shamans can't attack these. And if his army starts getting hurt by the Stomp and AoE of those creeps, it will be very tough. Lin scouts that he's gonna creep jack him.
Yeah. He's going for the big reach around here, the flank from behind. Or is he going for a run by maybe? No.
He took his time. He wanted to make sure that Sok started the camp.
Oh, that creep jack though. He has 1 raider now with Ensnare. Where is he gonna use it? Trying to line up the perfect Stomp. TC gets Storm bolted. But still fairly healthy. Lightning shield here actually on the Mountain King. TC uses a Stomp, retreats. Where are the militia? Militia needed for Sok here to help in this fight. Wind Rider taken out and the speed scroll runs out. And Sok can perhaps fight his way back. Militia now into the fray, but not too many. TP out by Lin. Can he save his units? Kodo Beast didn't get over Devour. One Raider goes down.
And there's a grunt in his peasant line, sorry, but that grunt is
wow!
Yeah, he tried to sneak that in, and then initially the militia that was sent out on the map blocked it at the wall accidentally. But then eventually that grunt got in and damaged everything here. So I think Sok should probably send like one priest to heal everything back up, because if there is a follow-up from Lin, it's gonna kill a lot of peasants.
Yeah, just sending wolves there seems smart, right? Yeah, and here they go. Another lightning shield could also be quite painful there. So there was one grunt and one shaman going for the counter harass and weren't in that fight. Perhaps the reason why Lin wasn't doing so well in this one. And smart here by Sok now to wall off his base to make sure he doesn't get a run by like that again.
Yeah, and he's sending militia out on the map. Torrent Chieftain takes a lot of damage here before the fight even starts. He's blocking it away with the mount tanking. Clap lands. Can the TC get away? He has a single... Oh, he's got a great, the big invuln actually, to save himself, but this is not the way you want to start a fight here with Torrent Chieftain taking so much damage. This is why orcs rely a lot usually on invis potions to get a good engagement, but now Lin probably felt like he just didn't have the time for that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the hero levels here. Lin close to double level 4, but so is Sok, right? In fact, he is level 4 AM already. Would love to see some MK solo creeping here, so he has the strong Stormbolt as well. By soaking up a bit of the experience here with the Archmage. Big upside of playing rifles on this map is you can go for the red cams much more easily than with breakers. And those are still left and still give big experience and big items.
Ooh, Sentry Words. One of the best items to have here on a map like this, where you have so few avenues. He's gonna put it down. Actually, wait, if he puts it down, he reveals his mount tanking, which right now is invis. He doesn't have any sorceresses, by the way, Sok. So he had to buy an invis potion for that to happen. Mount tanking doesn't have that much mana, but he does have a mana potion. He engages with a big clap in the middle of the entire army. TC going for the Archmage. There is no invuln on the Archmage. I don't know if he can transfer it. This might be a TP, but he ends up making it away.
Oh, the next stomp is gonna be massive into the rifles, into everything. AM still in trouble, by the way! Doesn't use the TP! Didn't anticipate the chain lightning damage. I'm sure Neo was aware of its danger, but here Sok forgot about it. Still looks like he's not looking too bad in this fight. Takes out the Kodo, gets level 4. No rifle returns from this one. Tower's about to finish. Can he cancel them? They're so close to done. One of them definitely be getting cancelled. But the other one finishes. That one can be getting repaired now. Mountain King low mana, by the way. Peon's coming in with this repair. TC could be going back in, but the Stormbolt is dangerous. This rifle army is still looking quite strong. 54 supplies still for Sok. Outside of the AM, he didn't lose much.
Yeah, there was even a healing scroll actually on the Archmage. I think Sok just thought he had more time than he actually had. So now he instant revives. Both of his heroes are not that high on hit points here. Maybe some hero target might be the way for Lin to just win this fight here. He goes for the Mount King. There is an invuln. Will be used just on time. And the TC didn't go deeper to land that stomp on rifles. He really focused on the Mount King. So that's a big loss here for Lin. 45 supply against 50 still. Rifles with +2 attack. Where's this Berserker going?
MK again in the front line against the TC. Getting focused now. He has a heal scroll, but no more invul. And Snare comes in. Chain Lightning as well. This is going to be the next hero kill. It's so close. The next heal scroll. Another purge. The TP transfer saves the second hero. Mountain King makes it away. And this time, Lin didn't lose any units in this attempt, I believe. He's running over very smartly to the shop. He needs to steal these items. He used the speed scroll to get to the shop quickly. Steals the invul away. And that's going to make it so hard for this Mountain King, especially to re-engage.
Yeah, and he got dust as well. I'm not sure if that's to clear out the sentry word or if he's maybe expecting some invis play, but it's smart in either case. Like, it's really, really scary when you know that the human is there with invis. He can save his Mountain King. Sometimes he can even engage you. We saw that earlier with an invisible Mountain King using clap in the middle of the entire army. So he would actually be able to do something about it. Now, if it were to happen, like I said before, Sok playing a rifle-heavy composition will have a much easier time creeping those granite golem and rock golems. And that's exactly what he goes for. And Lin's doing the one on his side. Items obviously can play a very strong role here. You're hoping for one of the big auras in particular. Ideally the one you don't have.
Oh, got it. Lin nicely doing it. If you wait until the Grand Golem's on his way back, walking back, and then you ensnare him, he barely attacks. So damage minimized. Claws +12. Not really the item you want, is it?
Kagdar, oh my god. That's the one he was...
Oh, that's the item you want!
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty amazing for Lin. Even now, like he wasn't even...
Oh my god.
His shamans and heroes are gonna have so much more mana to work with.
Yeah.
He's working with triple aura. War Drums, Endurance, and Brilliance. 3 of the best auras in the game.
But the tower is gonna be broken here. Still at 50. We're not going into upkeep. Both still saving resources. And there's 0 creeps left on the map. That can happen on Amazonia rather quickly. So now the game oftentimes becomes a little weird. Like, what's the next move to go for? There's no expansion, which is logical to attack, and a necessity to attack. There's no camps to fight over anymore.
Yeah, it seems weird. Like he's trying to force an engagement on his terms here around the expo. He uses Dust just on time to reveal the Mountain King here.
TC walking in again, looking for the big stomp. Gets a pretty good one right there. With a speed scroll follow-up, he gets 1 devour, 2 devours in fact, by the TC. Still in a bit of trouble, but has lots of potions remaining. Lots of mana as well, by the way. AM, what's he doing? Very far forward with a stomp and ensnare. That must be a TP force this time. He's not going to give that hero away. Chain Lightning doesn't find the kill. In fact, it's Sok who finds some kills. Took out a Raider, took out a Grunt. And again, speed scroll used to steal the next invul away. Is the Farseer in time? He should be. And he gets it, and that's once more no invul for Sok.
Yeah, both times he did the same move. Speed scrolls, goes to and grab the scrolls and says you can't have that. And the level 5 Torrent Chieftain and level 5 Mountain King are key here to be able to win the game decisively for either player. Sok is closer to get that than Lin is, but obviously there is Purge, you know, like if he can remove some of the water elementals away, he could definitely reach that here, Lin. Pretty quickly, Archmage went for Water Elemental level 3 as well, which is almost like unconventional. A lot of the time here you see Brilliance level 3, but I think Sok understands that there is not many Shaman, and by that I mean there is a single one, only a single one.
Farseer is very close, level 5, gets it here. Normally the Wolves in the late game against the Breaker army, very detrimental in fact to the Orc, but since there's no Breakers to steal them, these level 3 Wolves could be really good, and also for Harass, they're crazy. There is again a big opening into the main. Wait, is there? Might be actually walled up, I'm not sure. But the center of attention is in the north here.
Oh no, under the Arcane Tower, I guess, Wolves will get in. But yeah, Torrent Chieftain getting targeted again. He goes for the Archmage, there's no TP! There's no TP and no invuln. He's already dusted it. The Archmage is gonna go down, and TC gets level 5. He's already invuln. He's trying to get to the backline here. Actually, he's pulling back for some reason. Then losing confidence. He's losing units very quickly here. Those rifles still going strong. He's gonna land a giant stomp inside of the entire army.
That's what we call an epicenter. 5-second stun on a 7-second cooldown. Now Sok is trying to split up against it, but the MK is close to out of mana. He's got a mana potion still, I guess. TC, he has to get the return hero kill on the TC, but Lin is positioning him in well. Both players are losing tons of units, to be fair. Wait a minute, is Lin actually losing more? No, Sok is certainly losing more, down to 26 supply only. This MK is still strong, but now he's officially out of mana. Another stomp, 3 more kills for Lin, and that's GG. And the 1-0.
Did you see the inventory on the heroes of Lin at the end? 1 invuln on each, and these are the ones that he stole away from Sok. This move was so sick, to speed scroll both times and just steal the items from the shop away of Sok. So well played by Lin.
That was the first map of DreamHack Summer Asia, and what a banger. Like, how high class was this match? Pretty much from the beginning on, from choosing the creep routes, this was already something special. Lin reacted perfectly, and Dreamo, you pointed it out. Be aware of a strong Chain Lightning. He even picked Chain Lightning level 3 in the last fight, and that was wreaking havoc there.
Yeah. Those invul steals, man, this was really key in this match. Imagine if in those earlier engagements the MK had an invul, the AM had an invul, would have been so different. Very, very, very smart by Lin. But it was still a very competitive game.
I had like an internal conversation with myself when Lin speed scrolled at the end of the first big fight at the expo. I was like, oh my god, did he misclick? And then suddenly I saw him headed for the shop. And then the second me was like, did he misclick? You know who you're talking about? It's Lin. No, he didn't misclick. He's gonna steal his items, you idiot.
Dude, I would love to listen to your internal conversations more.
Oh, the world is not ready.
Alright, so we go into map 2, but Sok is definitely able to hang with the best orc in the world. I sound surprised. Maybe I shouldn't. He's had great results recently, like also against 1-2-0. He's been stepping it up recently. Also, this 2-0 versus Moon. Really, really impressive performance by Sork in the past couple of days and weeks. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I think, though, what a lot of humans are saying is that Amazonia is kind of a bit of an orc favorite map. But yeah, and was Lin picking Amazonia first. We're going on to LR next, which to me is a very, very interesting map. For the longest time, it looked like it was a really bad human map until Infi and TH showed that you can go for the Shadow Priest pull early, and that completely flipped the early game around. And I think nowadays it's a lot less clear who that map is better for. If you have a solid early, which can be hard with AM, then suddenly the MK can benefit from all those orange creep camps a lot in the mid game. But first you have to get there, and then Northern Isles would be the last map, map number 3, if we should get there. But first, last refuge, which is going to be coming up in a second.
We're already in the lobby. We're getting the invites out. And this is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good. And that's just the beginning, guys. Can only get better from here. Like, even better from here. But these guys show us definitely where the Asians will lead us to.
Even though there was only one shaman, the choice of going water elemental level 3, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Usually, like, Brilliance level 3 can give Mount Tanking extra mana as well to work with in the fight, even if it's just like one more clap or one more Stormbolt really can change a lot. I kind of question the choice of moving out without Town Portal for Sok. Maybe he was feeling the pressure of making sure the stars don't go up at the expo and Lin doesn't expo, but the big item on the red camp also played a big role. I mean, obviously, Claws plus 12 gives you a little bit of damage, but we can compare that with an orc player finding Brilliance for his heroes and his one shaman or shamans. So yeah, if the roles had been reversed, like let's say Sok finds like Endurance or Unholy Aura, and then Lin finds Endurance, which he already has, that would have been pretty bad for him. But finding Brilliance was like so perfect for sure for this.
Yeah, especially for Orc, who's like the one race that doesn't have easy ways of replenishing mana. Like, Human always has the aura naturally, Undead has statues, and Night Elf has Moonwells, but Orc always has to rely just on passive regen and clarities. It's so amazing to find that Khadgar's Pipe.
Yeah, those fights, they last very long as well, so the impact of Khadgar's is even bigger. Because for all this time, you're replenishing mana, and again, even if it's just the one extra spell, one more Shen Lightning, one more Storm, it can be game-changing.
Right, we just got the typical color conversation that we got here on Netty, so all the observers have to check who stole the yellow color, because we want to give you a good contrast here for sure. Ah, there we go. And with that, what? No? Yes?
Todd, did you check your color?
He just picked yellow and then left the slot again.
No, it was orange.
I didn't pick any color.
Yeah, but you're automatically assigned one, so you have to check it in the player slot.
Yeah.
Oh, but the player slots are taken. Are we supposed to go in one by one?
Yeah.
Yep. That's how it works.
Yeah, you have to get... Yeah, exactly.
I'm purple. I'm Sky.
Did Sky used to play in purple?
Yeah. I think he did.
Know that.
Yeah, I think it was purple. A lot of players changed their color. But some were like, they were dead set on one color. Actually, it's funny to think that not every tournament used to enforce colors. I guess not every game was trained and stuff. So when you will play, you will pick your favorite color. For some players, that was like dark green, which was like really hard to spot.
Camouflage.
They need to get a camo color with camo closing for the units.
I wouldn't be too surprised after this black. Like, black is also the absolute worst.
It's hard to see, you think?
Really hard, yeah. Especially on the minimap.
But nobody picks it, I think. I haven't seen it in any game. Do you guys think red and yellow is easier to see than red and blue on most maps?
I think the issue with blue is that we have Northern Isles now. that has a blue
Yeah,
tile
yeah.
set. And then the blue meshes really well with the blue player colors. So I think yellow and red are more safe. You don't want to switch colors in between a series. That would also be a little weird. So in good old German EPS days, we always used red and yellow.
Wait,
and now we're kind of
Todd
getting
ready.
back to it.
Yeah, and I think also for Intel Extreme Masters, for WC3L, all of these tournaments, basically anything ESL was always red and yellow. So that's why actually, like not too long ago, I was seeing a lot of red and blue, and I was wondering, I thought blue was like a little bit more hard to see on the minimap, which is very important because that's where how easily you can tell where a player has like stuff and is making things happen.
I think the red and blue is coming from StarCraft because it's the default there,
Yeah, yeah.
and we just copy stuff as good as
It's
we
pretty
can.
easy to see there actually on StarCraft, red and blue.
Wait, is it the default there?
I think yeah.
In tournaments, for sure.
Ah, you mean you make them enforce it in tournaments, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go player colors in StarCraft, it's like, it's red and green, isn't it? Allied colors? It's been a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. On the minimap, you see the opponent as like green.
All right, guys. This is map number 2 of the first game of DreamHack Summer Asia. And with that, we are loading into Last Refuge. In the bottom left, on a very good run recently, but at the moment down one map, it's Sock. And in the upper left-hand side, a former WGL champion, WCG champion, BlizzCon champion, it's Lin. Alright, boys, we're set. Let's hope for an awesome match just like match 1 was.
Yeah, Lin took the 1-0 lead, as I imagine most people expected, but it was really close. It seemed like Sok had a good chance there to make something happen, but the legend once again clutched it out. With an interesting opening build here by the Orc as well. It's a skip barracks. Wait, is they going Blade Master? No, okay, Farseer. Farseer with salves right away. What?
The
Isn't
Razorman build.
Isn't the advantage of Farseer supposed to be you can skip the salves and you're very sustainable with the wolf resummon and you save resources that way?
I think that's if you play this way, you can just be a little more aggressive. So you might be hoping to do just a lot of damage on the Archmage. It's still viable, it's just different, and it's going to be for Sok to scout and realize that this is happening, and he needs to be extra careful. But yeah, this Farseer is going to stay on him at all times, and this time, probably try and make sure he doesn't lose track of him, because last game that definitely happened a little bit in the start.
I really like the Peon Scout. Wants to make sure that the easy Shadow Priest steal here doesn't happen. So I think the intention for the Orc is if the footy goes for the pull of the Rock Golem, then the Peon moves in and steals the Shadow Priest away. So the footy knows he can't do this, so he's instead taking out the Peon. But Lin is probably fine with this because he prevented the Shadow Priest pull with that. And if that costs the Peon, then that's totally fine. Footy's still trying to go for the pull.
He can do it. He got rid of the Peon. I don't really understand. I thought the Peon should suicide at the Mercamp because then you kind of make it bug and then he can't be pulled nearly as well. But for some reason, Lin just kind of like got hit and then suicided it on the Expo Crypts. That's a big win for Sok because like there is so much investment into this Farseer now, and it's obviously I don't think it's gonna pay off nearly as well. There's multiple abolish available.
Yeah, I like that he holds on to the second abolish. Just use one abolish and then you can deal with the one wolf, and when the set is resummoned, then you can abolish again. A lot of min-maxing here. Really like what we're seeing early from Sok. Going for a 3-farm tech. Is certainly behind the Orcs, but not by that much. And once again, the story of this early game is going to be the AM trying to get to level 3, but especially on this map, it's not that easy. It's a little bit easier with the Shadow Priest. Oh, wait a minute, big last hit over here. Oh, he stole it! Sniper AM steals the last hit, gets the level 2, and that's the early game definitely going to suck.
Yeah, this is as bad as it could have gotten here for Lin. 100 hit points on his Farseer. He's not able to heal yet because he was still trying to be aggressive. Did plant down one of the sentry wards, which was almost certainly heard from Sok. So I think one of the best things you can do here is buy a dust and get rid of this. You could also use a revelation from the lab. And he's just looking to creep small camps here. Thanks to the help of his Shadow Priest being around as well, being able to dispel those walls.
Yeah, and we see it again. One gets ensnared, the other gets dispelled, next wolf taken out. It's a disaster for Lin. He steals an item here, okay, but it's only a mantle. It's 0 experience against 400.
Ooh.
Oh, he
Still
stole that one though.
Yeah. This Farseer is having trouble being impactful at all here. Like now we finally seen him going into grunts. And I guess he's gonna rush that Torrent Chieftain very well with his early attack, which obviously it helped that he only opened with the shop and not the barracks and an additional burrow. But it does feel like, I mean, this Archmage scares me. Like, he should be able to creep a little bit more pretty easily, like the Forestral Shadow Priest on 40 mana right now. And then after that, once Archmage is 3, this time he might be able to pressure a bit better. He's actually, oh, he's going for a pull.
They want to prevent the level 3. He probably did the math in his head, knows that there's only a little camp, a few creeps left remaining for this AM.
Ooh, and the Null Warden purges the Water Elemental, so that was very well done by Lin to trigger that here. Because now that's one Water Elemental less, and you don't really want your Footmen to be tanking the damage here from the scripts. And Blacksmith again, by the way, for Sok, so he wants to stick to a rifle style against a Lin who seems dead set on going for Kodos.
Sok is the first top human I again see play rifles a lot. And I say a lot, but I've only seen 2 maps. But it's already a lot more than what we've seen recently. At WGL, Infi, and TH before, they were only playing breakers all the time. Oftentimes with expansions. But Sok is going back into rifles, not deeming them worthless.
It kind of seemed like rifles fell out of fashion. Like they kind of caught the scene by storm and it was like, oh my god, you're supposed to grow rifles against Orc. Of course, since then there's also been a nerf on the damage. It was a slight nerf, but definitely can change a little bit. Lin trying to go for the steal here. Not gonna be allowed to get it, at least on the item, but he's trying to get the creep. And he gets it!
Oh my god, he got it! That was a little complacent by Sok to give up this opening, but also really hard to get, especially with Inner Fire. That window for you to get the last hit is so small.
And Mountain King is out now. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's gonna play quite aggressively here. Trying to prevent this expansion, I suppose.
A player's forces are under
But Lin is not getting Kodo, by the way. He's opening up with a Raider first. So he wants to have some good lockdown. I think he might feel like there's a chance it's going to be an aggressive game. I mean, we already saw on the side of the map of Lin right now.
So TC versus MK, Stomp versus Stormbolt. What's going to be more impactful? Liz is having a rough time, man. He's double level 1 only. He doesn't have too strong of a tier 2 army yet. Sok looking in a very strong position.
And Sok has a Sentry Ward. They both have a Sentry Ward on one another. So that's why nobody's really moving. There's a Sentry Ward right now sitting. They're both waiting for the other one to start a camp. I wonder if they realize that each of them have a Sentry Ward perfectly set up to see the opponent's army eventually. It's about whoever starts creeping first is going to be in trouble.
Alright,
They both end up disengaging. I think they might have realized what was happening. They're like, okay. Even though Lin went for the Expo creeps, I think maybe Sok was like, well, these are not that tough. So even if he does them, he might be able to fight me shortly after.
Yeah, and as they both sit back a little bit and go creeping, Sok seems to be the more bigger beneficiary from this. Gets level 2, gets the big invul potion, which is amazing in this matchup. This is basically what cost him the first map, not having enough invuls.
Yeah.
a player's
Now he's
look
also already looking better.
He's going for the Cryptjack. So he still saw him with that Sentry Ward after. They both see so much. The Farseer getting caught. He's gonna go for the surround to try and force a town portal, but he was not fully surrounded. Farseer making it out. He's trying to speed scroll away. Whoa! And TP is gonna be forced. And not one unit go down here, but very costly town portal.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy mistake there by Sok also. That should have been a surround. He thought he had it, but he didn't have it closed. The Farseer slipped out. Could wait a little bit with the TP, and I think that's what allowed the TC to get this item. It was a belt, which isn't the most amazing, but for these melee strength heroes, it's decent.
Yeah, I mean, Torn Chieftain is almost at the 1,000 hit points, 3 armor. That guy's gonna be a tank.
How do you like that Ring of Protection, Todd?
Looking amazing on a TC.
Battling for the next big one. Use the Invul Potion to make sure he doesn't get stomped. Last hit and item. I think both went to Lin. Certainly the big mana did. But again, he has to fall back. Over and over, Lin has to back away from these fights.
Yeah, the Mount King had to use an invuln, but and he used the big one actually. He could have used the small one to dodge the storm, but he wanted to play it safe. And he steals the invuln away from Lin. The battles for invuln potions. This is amazing.
Gives him a taste of his own medicine from the last game. But I'm quite impressed with how Lin is recovering. He's always in trouble, he barely gets the items and barely gets out. But think back to just a few minutes ago. Oh, the grunt though! Ooh, loses the grunt. That's a bit of a yikes. Gets a level 3 here, healing wards, which is amazing for Orc. But just a few minutes ago, we had double level 1 Orc heroes not able to do anything, getting pressured by level 3 AM and an MK. Lin has fought his way back, played his way back into this game quite well.
Kagdar's pipe for Sok. He's most definitely gonna sell that since he already has brilliance. This is always the moment where you're like, oh, I'm so unlucky, I found Kagdar, I already have that aura. But then at the same time, you can also think, well, the opponent's not gonna get it then. Torn Chieftain, will he get targeted? No, it's just a clap to open up with. Mount King's already out of mana, so even though he has a mana potion, he might use it, clap once or twice and then TP out. But usually this is a TP out here a lot of the time. And Sok really trying to fight this, but it's not going well.
The one Shaman with Lightning Shield on the Militia, was hoping that was on a click, but Sok micros them as well, quite well. TC has a mana potion still. Is he gonna use it? Mana potion on the MK already committed. Lin is losing a lot of units over here. Mana potion, stomp. Everything is low. How they would love to have a heal scroll. I think we saw one on Lin there just a second ago. It's ranged meta again. It's just Headhunters, Kodos, Shaman. And the Farseer, remember, he doesn't have a TP anymore. He needs to be careful over here. We see a slow transition into Breakers, but now Speed Scroll once again. Lin has been using these extremely well, these Speed Scrolls, across map 1 and 2. Backs up again here, but this fight, looking at the supply, seems to have gone to the human. However, we do have 2 towers now coming up at the expansion, or finished, I should say.
Yeah. Lin can heal pretty easily, though, as you can see, he's got the healing ward. That's one of the best ways to use it. Like, if you use it in the fight... Oh my god, Sok said it there.
On top of a sentry, though. That is very unlucky.
Yeah, the first stomp a little bit underwhelming. And there's not a ton of mana left on that TC. He's got one more stomp, unless that gets drained before it's finally available. He's on top of everything right now. Might go for the Archmage here, Lin. And Chain Lightning level 2 is doing a lot of damage, but Lin just doesn't have enough units to deal with this army here.
Level 4 on the TC, that additional move and attack speed will help. One grunt is gonna go down. Sok with the supply lead. Going for a heal scroll. Double invul and heal scroll. And Lin has none of those. Ah, okay, he has one invul.
It might be a good time to engage hit and run modes. For Lin, perhaps. Because he's got fortified, he's got the 2 towers on the expo. Like, that makes it a lot harder to push with that piercing damage. Oh, I shouldn't go for that fight. I don't think he has enough. And obviously, Sok's gonna disengage from the towers, which were big investments. He made 2 towers and an expo that are not helping at all in this fight. Lin doesn't have enough units, but he's still trying to go for the fight.
Everything getting slowed down. Speed scroll against it. Nice stomp into the back. The stuns are looking good, but there's just no follow-up damage. Not enough of an army. Kodo gets focused out there as well. Good overview by Sok. And now with everything getting slowed down and him being able to kite so well, suddenly this is looking quite disastrous for Lin. There's going to be a cancel on the expo. And again, Sok has reclaimed the lead in this game.
He gets a cancel on the expo, which I think wasn't even cancelled. So he kills it. And Lin got almost no gold back. Yeah, look at his gold. And the grunt that he's making, he already had started for a while ago. So he got almost no gold back for this.
Alright, so. Is Sok gonna try to break these towers? How important do you think it is to try to break these towers? Can you leave them up and just come up here when the expansion is close to finish? Or should you clear this out and make sure these towers will be taken care of?
Yeah, well, apparently Sok thinks he can just leave them there. In my mind, I think it would be better to get them out of the way, but it's so hard because they're fortified, they take a while to die, but he just got to cancel on the expo and he's like, I'm happy with this. So then he pulls back, creeps a little bit, and just by creeping like this, he's applying pressure to Lin, because Lin knows that Sok's standing right there, that if he restarts the expo, it's going to be cancelled again. So he's like, I need to fight him and chasing away, but Lin at this point just has too little. 33 supply. He's been struggling for a very long time now, and this time there is no Cactus Pipe, at least on his side, to help him maybe come back in this and be able to win a fight.
MK Mana is looking decent. He used the invul earlier really well to dodge the stomp. He has another one still. Having invul versus not having invul makes a massive difference. TC still has his. And that sorcerer somehow reached for the slow. How is that possible? Lin is supposed to have the way faster army here, but another...
She ran track in high school.
Ah, that's how. I mean, she should be fast, right? She's like kind of floating. She's actually not running, but she's not that fast.
Sok finally goes for the towers. At this point, he knows that Lin went elsewhere to creep. Lin, not even interested by the red camp in the bottom right. Wants to go for the orange. He wants a big item. Something that maybe could help him. Farseer is invisible. He's trying to steal items. I think he might go for the red in the top left next, hoping that Sok is there and doing it. If you steal the item, the opponent will immediately know that you're there, though. And then if he dispels... I wonder if he might chain lightning the creep. Yeah, but then he dies. Bolt slow.
It's a high risk play.
Oh my god, he's gonna try and steal it. If a dispel, he might dispel the creeps and reveal him.
Oh!
He gets the item. Where are the dispels?
Oh, didn't dispel fast enough.
Oh, he
did!
He's too far.
Ooh.
He's dead.
Needs the invul. Needs the invul.
Oh my god, he gets out. The Houdini of Orc.
And all of that to sell the helm, probably.
Yeah, but he took it away from his opponents.
Yeah, true.
That's
true.
Like a cool gold exchange. Obviously, he didn't get the experience, but Torn Chieftain almost 5. One of the best comeback mechanics in this game is getting that Stomp level 3. But Sok on 66 supply, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, Sobi Mask, that's a great item. Can the sorcerers reach for the slow? Yes, but instant with the purge on the MK and on the TC. And Lin survives. Lin backs off. Sok would love nothing more than just taking a fight right now. But Lin, of course, no intention of giving his opponent one.
I guess you sell the helm. I mean, you have to. I like how Lin gets dust, by the way. Like, remember last game? That's what allowed him to kill the Archmage as well. He dusted and he was like, Invis is going to be useless for you. Then went for the full focus. But this game, Sok has 69 supply. He's got so much. Like, his army is massive. And look at this. He only made very few rifles. He's got 5 right now. Everything else is casters and breakers. That's a much harder army to deal with than if there was 4 rifles, because then Stomp level 3 could potentially own and do really well. But in this case, Stomp does not affect breakers. And they're going to be at the front, doing a ton of damage to the Thorn Chieftain and draining his mana away.
Yeah, this almost looks like the perfect human army right here. And the MK is going to get level 5, I believe, also from this camp. Yep, he certainly will. AM is 5 already. This time he has the Brilliance 3.
He found Ankh. Such a great item.
Gonna protect him.
Okay, that Mountain King. 390 mana. Oh, he's still from the world. 390 mana and ready to rumble.
Dude, this TC has 1450 HP. He's almost got 50 strength. That's a strong boy, dude. He's going to Camp Knopf.
And I got a feeling he's still gonna die.
Well, during breaker focus.
Supply. He's saving a lot of gold here, is Lin. I wonder if he sells items. He kept the Helm of Valor.
Forces are under attack.
Oh, he just sold something though. What did he sell?
Sobi Mask.
I'm not sure. What? He sold the Sobi Mask?
He did, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. What?
That's weird. Maybe he thinks that the mana might play against him against this many breakers.
Okay. He wants all the health. In we go. Finally, Sock has the fight that he was looking for. That clap is looking pretty good. And the stomp, not really. The breaker positioning in front, very good. There's not enough Kodos to eat all these breakers, to snack them away. And when you don't have the Kodo numbers required, these breakers are almost impossible to deal with. And this looks like a rather easy fight for the human player. Invul stomp doing decent, but that seems like it was the last stomp of this fight. And that is it, GG. And 1-1.
Ooh, we got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that Sock could come back so impressively, owning this early game? Like, Lin is usually so good at last hit, hitting and harasses. Probably that's why he's going for that strategy. But Sock kind of outplayed him there, and then it snowballed. Lin tried his best to come back, but wasn't happening here. So, series is tied. We go into a tiny little break, and then we'll decide this. Who's gonna go into the winner bracket final? It's Lin versus Sock. See you in a bit. Here we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 1-1. Sock was able to strike back in quite an impressive fashion.
Yeah, with the early game spiraling out of control there, the way it did. And the AM getting level 3 so early with the Mercs, or the Shadow Priest, I should say. Looked really good. It seemed like Lin was supposed to have the answer for the early Shadow Priest pull, but I guess apparently not. Perhaps we have to develop this Shadow Priest game on LR even more so. But that's a very map-specific thing. You can only do that on maps where there are Mercs, where there is a Shadow Priest to get early. And our third and deciding map, Northern Isles, doesn't have any Mercs.
Yeah. I think the opener and just the build order in general wasn't that great for Lin. It's a little bit weird. Like, he does some things really well, and in the previous map on Amazonia, like, the invulnerability still was, like, amazing. But there's some of the things where you can tell, like, maybe he's not having the easiest time these days. Like, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or practice thing, but I saw for sure some big mistakes in there that if Lin was playing against TH or Infi, it would, like, punish him even a lot more than it did now. So, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest. But he had a rough time that last game. He was behind basically the entire time.
Yeah, Last Refuge was Sock's map, so both players won their picks. So they decided that really, really well. Let's see who gets the decider. Northern Isles, as you guys said, we're loading in already, not wasting any time. You hear the chains. That's one of the most beautiful sounds in the entire world, when these chains rattle and the countdown starts. And then we're all getting hyped for that game. It's not gonna be an easy group for sure, as we can see here. Colorful or Jamiko will be their opponents. Colorful and Orc Slayer, and is getting better and better with the Warden here as well. Jamiko never to be underestimated as one of the best humans in the entire world. And looks like we got our people in. Looks like we have our Northern Isles game coming up. And we load into it. There we go. In the bottom left, getting quite demolished on Last Refuge, but also very impressive on map 1 is Lin. And in the upper right, in the yellow, can he cause another upset after defeating Moon and 1-0? Lin would be his next victim. It's Sock. Let's go and decide this.
As always, I'm going to be very interested here in the early game builds. What's the creep route? What's the early game plan? What's the leveling progress going to look like? Because it has such a big impact. The state at which you find your hero on tier 2, level 2, level 3, or in the worst case level 1 will have a big story to tell for the rest of the game. And on Northern Isles, it feels like this is the map where the early game is most set in stone. The human goes for the green camp first with the claws, and then he goes for the next green trying to get level 2, excuse me. And the Farseer with the grunt will always be aggressive against it. There's barely any deviation there, but there's also the option to go for the Tuskars, but the fewest human actually go for that. Why do you think that is?
I think it has its advantages. It's just like a very different build, which is like very specific, and I feel like maybe TH00 was one of the guys to use that during WGL, and it feels it was one of those things where he's trying to counter the current meta, which, as you say, is kind of set in stone. And the point of that is to rush level 2 super fast, somewhat safe. Supposedly you get home with the militia before the Farseer gets there, and by this time your tower is almost finished. And actually Sock is going to go for that, so it's good that you mentioned it. But yeah, that's the point. Like, you reach level 2 super fast, and then you can start working on that level 3. You know when you do that the opponent's tech is going to be way faster than yours. So how are you going to do something about this? By getting level 3 quickly, and then you show up, and even though he teched very quickly and he's getting lodged and all of that, you get a cancel on those buildings. So that's the main goal of that strategy.
And it didn't even need a second water element, or didn't even need 6 peasants or a second water element, so it wasn't even that heavy of an investment. Some of the peasants are hurt, but as you said, the Arcane Tower is already finished, so these walls should be dealt with pretty well. So good jump start for the AM, a lot of experience, fast level 2, but it is a slower tech.
And Archmage started taking a little bit of damage. He needs to be really careful. Infi and TH really highlighted, they even talked a little bit about it, about how it's important to stay very healthy on the Archmage. Orc can heal a single target with salves very easily, but for human, regen scroll, it's trickier. It's better if you use on multiple units. So he ran across the map already, and by doing that, you can just creep with your Archmage and a Water Elemental, and in the meantime with Footmen and the other Water Elemental like he's doing now.
And again, the goal will be to try to get level 3 here. If he gets level 3 with a decent amount of mana, pushes into the main with Water Elementals and Footies, Could be a lot of damage towards these tier 2 buildings which will be coming up. And even the invul, if he wanted to commit it, could make a big difference. But first he needs to get there. Farseer gets his first bit of experience, taking out one footman.
Yeah,
And not a single peasant has died, amazingly.
Yeah, even that one died. It's always nice to put it on the gold, because for the time that it steps inside of the gold mine, it's actually not attackable. But yeah, Sok got the experience from his small Murloc, but the item went to Lin. It's still looking like he's quite far away from level 3, so he's not... Because there are wolves around his base, he doesn't feel confident enough to send militia on that 1 o'clock little green camp here, where the wolf is actually guarding just that from Lin.
Yeah. Great scouting by Lin. Look at his eyes on the map. We have 2 grunts in the south at the green camps. There's wolves in the north, looking at that one, and the Farseer in the middle. All about trying to prevent the level 3. If you could see the last hit here, that would be tremendous. He got it with the wolf! Are you kidding me? Lin, you god. He's getting the next one. What?
Oh, this micro is so sick by Lin. Can he get this one as well? No, not even gonna go for it, but he does have 120 experience now, and that was from a lot, like from everything that feels like he could have gone to Sok here. Some of the scripts, he did kill the 1 footman. 1 peasant is finally gonna go down, maybe.
These wolves, man. The Wolfie's doing a great job. The fact that he got the Ogre Warrior with the Wolf, man, how insane is that? Almost level 2 now for this Farseer. AM not level 3 yet. And yeah, does have a bit of damage on him. And again, the TC comes out with the Bestiary and the Lodge. No early War Mill this time, so... Raiders, I guess.
I think the mistake from Sok was not doing that top camp with just militia. You can do that with 6 militia. He could have sent his Archmage on the other side of the map and then said, okay, I have Footman, Archmage, Water on your side of the map and just militia on the other side. There's no way you can react to both very well. If he had done that, I think he might have been able to get level 3, and then now he could be pressuring, or earlier he would have been able to pressure the Lodge. Does get the item this time. That's a very good one, actually. Replenishment Potion with a not so healthy hero, but Tauren Chieftain is already creeping and he's going to reach level 2 before the Mountain King is even out. He's only halfway through down in the altar.
Yeah. And that's the downside of playing this opening right here, right? You have the slower tech. Your MK can definitely fall behind in the experience game. And when you play this opening, you really, really want to get level 3 quickly on your first hero. It wasn't that quick. Seems like he's going to be getting it now, finally. Unless the Farseer comes back in with some crazy last hits. Of course, we've seen them before.
Because to deny, Tauren Chieftain about to do another small camp, and this is one of the easier maps to get level 3 on with Tauren Chieftain. Like, those camps are not really that tough. Like, after that, obviously, Lin is going to go for the expansion creep. Question is, will he take that expansion or rather play a little bit more aggressive? He delayed the War Mill this time. So he actually manages to go for Raider first. It lines up pretty well with when his War Mill is going to finish, and then he can go into Kodos if he wants to.
Alright. Items so far for the TC pretty good. 2 mana items here with the Wand of Mana Steel and the Circlet. A bit of mana only, but you know, every little thing helps. And here comes the Peon. 40 supply, Expo. Ring +4 for the TC. Not too bad. Makes him more beefy. He's certainly going to be taking a lot of the focus fire at all times. And Sok finds the Periapt, but he's having to creep with both his heroes together. So this MK's progress is so much slower than the TC's.
Yeah, Tauren Chieftain being level 3 here, usually you just want to go engage here if you're Lin. And look at this, he's getting Shaman at that training after getting the first 2 initial Shamans. Sorry, 3. So they've already been banking up on quite a bit of mana here. And there's not... Wait, did he go? Okay, no, he went Brilliance level 2, which against Shamans is the standard. If you're Sok here, you're supposed to be pretty worried about this fight because Stomp level 2 is such a threat. So you kind of have to give up a lot of position, maybe try and go and creep what's safe. Maybe going around to his main base and then going into the expansion creep might be better. But Sok does not want to leave those camps in the center to go to Lin too easily. So he's going to try to do something about it, but he kind of gets there late. Healing Ward's is going to be grabbed.
Oh! Amazing item. TC waiting for the big stomp. He's got full mana. MK and TC both conservative with their mana, holding on to their spells still.
Drops a healing
And there's
ward.
the heal ward. Oh, beautiful.
It's so nice as well, like, because he can do that extra Kodo camp while healing, like, very safely. Militia was coming in. He's actually finished the camp with it. If Sok can anticipate there is an expo, it's almost tempting to attack it here. It does have quite a bit of mana to work with, but that Torrent Chieftain, there is Lightning Shield available from Shamans now. That Torrent Chieftain, oh my god. I feel the worst for Sok here. TC trying to make it to the center, goes for the Archmage immediately, one single ensnare. Oh, he was about to stone, but gets stone bolted at the last second. Where is Lightning Shield?
Invul Potion transferred. AM with that dodges the stomp. The TC with his stomp only hits the peasants. Is getting surrounded! The TC's stuck in here. TPL to try to save the second hero. Stormbolt connects the damage. It's so close. The heal ward. The heal ward healing kept him alive. What was that? 20 HP? 10 HP?
It was so
Sick
low.
block by Sok, dude. The fact that he was setting up a wall there with peasants to trap the TC, and that now gets him this expo cancel. Damn, what a sick play.
He saw the one way he could somehow salvage this fight, because this fight was going really bad. If he had tried to fight straight up and kill units, it wouldn't have worked. So he's like, well, I'll just go for the Torrent Shift and either kill it or make you Town Portal. And in this case, it's a big win to force Lin to Town Portal, because he has to heal for a very long time. Look at that Torrent Shift, and he's not even back to half hit points now. And the Mount King still has a lot of mana.
But only level 1 spells. He's looking for the perfect clap opportunity. Looks like that's a pretty good one right here. Or is he going to go for the TC instead? TC with the stomp again mostly hits the peasants. Speed scroll used. The Kodo does not get out though. Dispel also on the TC. There wasn't a lightning shield yet. These shamans will have plenty of mana, but wants to reserve it for Purge, it seems. Purge aggressively now. Against the rifles, against, yeah, the rifles only, I suppose. One of mana steal, the next storm comes in. Great stun in the back line. TC close to 4. When is MK finally level 3? He doesn't seem to be getting it in time. It's a Farsi making it to level 3 first. But he's also out of mana. But double level ups here for the Orc. TC 4 and Farseer 3. Lin is fighting his way back next to his expansion.
Yeah, Lin is out of mana here. He does have a one of mana stealing, but the Mountain King's still working with a ton of mana. Sok lost a ton of units though. He's down to 40 supply. And he already, remember, like some of this was militia when he fought earlier. So he doesn't even have a ton of wood back home. So expanding is not even an option at this point. And I think he's getting desperate. He's moving in there. There was a healing ward at the back. He goes for the Torrent Chieftain again. There's a Stomp available. Still with that one of mana stealing. He's getting on top of the entire army. 50 supply against 41. Sok's running out of units very quickly.
MK finally gets that level 3 there with a grunt kill, but at this point it seems a little too late. Great Raider control, always not overextending with those, but finding the ensnares, finding the kills. Sok down to 41 supply. Lin, he was struggling. In this position, we have seen bloodbath after bloodbath, but it seems like the Orcish player is coming out on top. 1,000 gold, actually. Lin kind of forgot to make burrows. He could go super heavy into production right now, and his expansion is about to finish. Sok falling back to the shop. Certainly can't afford to counter expand now. Sok has one more push left in him, but I don't like his position.
And he's gonna use a lot of that gold at the shop. That's so smart because he can't make units right now. So scroll, obviously the invuln was already taken. Invis potion, big potential to get on top of this army, but the Torrent Chieftain didn't use a clarity here before going in, but he can transfer the mana potion. I think that's in the plans. Yeah, there it is. So he's already gonna have a storm to open things up with. He's going around, probably hoping that human was gonna go and creep the expo, but then he sees him moving downwards. And Sok, he was back on 46 supply, but that's about to change here. Everything gets stomped pretty much immediately. The Torrent Chieftain getting targeted again. And this time he went Stormbolt level 2. Sok knows that his one route to try and win this game is going to be through some hero focus.
There's a heal scroll still left for Lin. I think he's going to use it soon. And there it is. TZ looks for one more stomp. He's on the outskirts of the fight. Doesn't hit the second hero with the speed scroll, but he's still quite speedy. With that aura getting focused now. That's the last Stormbolt for Sok. He needs to get this kill, and he might be able to. Last second TP, though. He had the gold, the 350 for the Town Portal scroll. The TZ saves himself. Almost the entire army as well. One Kodo Beast might be left behind, but again, that was a great fight for Lin. And it's looking very much like the 2-1 now for the Korean Orc player, especially as now the expansion is finished.
Yeah, the problem with fighting with militia, the way Sok did it, is that a lot of the time you're going to lose them, and after you lose them, they're very hard to replace. So expanding never was going to be an option after that, unless he remade a ton of peasants, but he couldn't because he had to fight. So just the delay on the Mountain King really cost him, and now it feels like he's in a do-or-die situation. He's trying to push forward, but there's so much Orc, and he's just going to tap out. He doesn't have enough to stand a chance here against the expansion of Lin. Lin wins with a 2-1 in our